Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark Show for August 9, 2024. We're going to be doing another fantasy football mock draft tonight. Going to do half PPR because we haven't done that yet. And as you can see on the screen here, we're going to try to do it on Sleeper.com. We tried to do one on Sleeper.com last night. It didn't work out, but I think I got to figure it out. So I'm going to post the link in the chat right now. So if you guys want to hop in, definitely feel free. Like there's obviously there's only 11 other spots here. I don't have a co-host tonight, but yeah, might as well intro before we begin. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would mean a lot to us. As you can see here, we have a ton of merch here, a coffee mug, of course, but then lots of t-shirts, especially August's Gluttony Month T-shirt. I'm still wearing it from last night, by the way. I thought I was going to go to the gym. My plans got thwarted, so I have not changed yet. So I feel like a slob. But yeah, it is Gluttony Month. So it would be more fitting if it was Sloth Month that I was still wearing the shirt. But still, I really want to make sure that people know that gluttony rights are human rights, and you can as well by buying the shirt. It's only $17.25 for a high quality shirt, which is I think it's pretty good in this economy. So yeah, we have this and lots of other t-shirts that you can buy to help support the show. Also, super chats, super stickers, all that would be appreciated. We get nothing on these YouTube ads. Like, it's pretty pathetic. And like, you guys have been helping us so much. John Sanders and Slew yesterday. You guys are both great. Germ the other day. And in the past, we had Degenin on, Kevin Kovac, and some others. You guys are the lifeblood of the show. You keep it going. So any further contributions would be really appreciated. Yeah, Mike saying sleeper tonight. Yes. Let's see if this filled up at all. Yeah, we have some people in here right now. We have let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 7 spots left. So yeah, so you guys can jump in. Also, you could buy my book on Amazon. It is called Jerks of the College Years. I don't know why the back is showing, but yeah, you can get Jerks of the College Years for $13.99 on Amazon. If you guys like Jerks of the Week, it's basically the same thing. I wrote about my 6 years in college when I was there at Penn State, and I ran into a lot of weird people. So you can see on the cover here, some very strange people, like this girl who couldn't solve any Sudoku numbers. The cover has her solving them. Like she couldn't like fill in a single square. It was like pretty pathetic. And I have a conversation I saved that I had with her on AIM. It was something to behold. She's like quite one of the dumbest people I've met, but she was at least funny. And I don't know, you guys can read about that conversation and all these weirdos that I bumped into at Penn State. Right, so let's see. John says I got a $278 check from the Clover lawsuit today. Thanks, Chelsea Clinton. Wow, that's pretty cool. I had Clover shares. I didn't get anything. I guess I missed the memo that I assume that's a class action lawsuit. I feel like I should have gotten something because I definitely took a loss from Clover. I still have 100 shares, which I'm selling covered calls on, but it's like $5 a week, which is, I guess it's okay. I mean, it's like $1.84 right now, or $1.81. They actually they had a positive EPS for the first time I saw. I don't know if it's for the first time, but they had a positive EPS in last week's earnings. So it's a good sign, I guess. I feel like they are undervalued, so I actually think it's a decent buy. John says it was on your advice I bought it. Well, yeah, unfortunately that was a loser. I did, there was a window of profitability because I remember buying it at like 14 or 15, and then it went down, and then it skyrocketed to like 25. And I sold like a quarter of my shares. I just really regret not selling all of it, and then it just plummeted. They had dilution. That's what killed it. And I felt like I feel like it was shorted a lot. But now it feels like it's on the upswing because it was like 80 cents about like 6 months ago or something, or maybe like even 3 months ago. And now it's like $1.80, and they just had positive EPS. So I guess it just took them a while to get there, but at least you got $278 back. I guess I did not get anything back. All right, are we full yet? We have 4 spots left. I haven't even posted this on Twitter yet, so I will do that so we can begin shortly. All right, so I'm going to tweet this out now. Football mock draft link. Okay, I posted on Twitter and Facebook, so hopefully we get this full soon. John says, Fidelity, let me know about it through an email. Okay, interesting. I'm kind of wonder why I didn't get one. So you didn't do anything? You just got it? That's weird. I wonder why I didn't get one. Mike says, I'm halfway through your book now. It's hysterical. I highly recommend. Thank you, Mike. Glad you're liking it so far. Hopefully the other half is just as good. Cassandra says, my first time participating in mock draft here. So, yeah, it's awesome. Welcome, Cassandra, to our mock drafts. And Dick says, going to be nice having a draft with 4 quarterbacks not being drafted by some team through 8 rounds. Yeah, I am looking forward to that as well. Looks like we have 2 spots left. So we should fill soon, especially with the social media posts. So I'm solo tonight. I didn't want to have a guest on because I didn't know. I know like when we'd start because the 2 games are going on tonight and I couldn't watch them like live. Initially I did, but I had the kids tonight. My wife was at work, so when we were eating dinner and I was like giving the kids a bath, I actually had the laptop on, so I was just like watching it while I was doing that. So and then I was able to come back and watch it. So I finished it. It's a shame Hendon Hooker got hurt. He got concussed. So I guess it depends on the concussion, right? Like some of them last a while. Some of them, he can come back within a week or 2. But he's not. He may be shut down for the rest of the preseason, which is a shame. And it's going to make Lions games so much more boring because they had Nate Sudfeld out there for some reason. I have no idea why. I have no idea why they started him. I thought that was bizarre. But then they went with Hendon Hooker, and then he got concussed. So I don't know. Maybe this guy's just destined to be injured all the time. Hopefully not. Like he ran around pretty well, at least tonight. So then he had Drake May, who played 1 drive. He threw 2. He had 2 completions, both of which were they were both screen passes. And then the third pass was slightly high. And then Joe Milton came in the fourth quarter. Is actually pretty good. So he was the best quarterback on the day, but not that means much in the preseason. This is half PPR. We haven't done half PPR yet, John. So I thought it'd be nice to do that. So these 2 spots aren't filling, Team 4 and Team 11. Not sure why, because it felt like we filled super fast yesterday. So let me just retweet this. Okay. 2 more spots left. So hopefully they fill somewhat soon. I don't know. It felt like we had so many people on yesterday. Let's see. Okay. All right. We got Slew in at Team 4. So we just need Team 11. So we need 1 spot left. Okay. So hopefully that happens very soon. Yeah, it's 15 rounds. I don't know why. It's like that was one of my criticisms of Fantasy Football Calculator. That was 15 rounds. So I don't know why this is 15 rounds. I don't know if it maybe it's just like the number of like whatever number that is. 15 times 62, 40. So maybe I don't know. What am I saying? 15 times 12 is 180. So I don't know. Maybe going above 180 to 192 is an issue. That's kind of weird. I don't know why that would be the case. You can adjust the wall. Okay, let me see. All right, go to set. All right, let's go to settings. We still have 1 team open. Draft settings. I didn't see anything for rounds. Roster setting. Okay. Let's take away 1 flex. I don't know why we have 1 flex. All right. Okay. Add bench. Right. Add bench. Update. So it should be 16 rounds. There we go. Nice. There we go. Okay. All right. There. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't see that. So that's cool. 15 is fine. So good. That's good. So yeah. All right. Now we're going 16 rounds. Thanks, Dick. Yeah, we do 25 round drafts. Wow, that's crazy. That must be a lot of fun. All right. So we got 12 people in here. So let's start the draft, shall we? This action cannot be undone. Drafting will commence immediately for everyone in your league. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we have fancy sounds here. Um, so all right, Tyreek Hill off the board. I don't. Let's see if you guys can see this. If I need to enlarge, um, can you guys see that? Well, I mean, if it's full screen, you can. So I think it's fine, right? If you guys need me to enlarge this, let me know. It's the first time we're using this. So interesting. The Tyreek Hill went first overall and had PPR. I did not have Tyreek Hill at first overall. I don't. It doesn't strike me as like a PPR guy. Brees Hall number 2. I like it. He showed like Marshall Faulk type receiving stats late last year. Someone's texted me 11:20. I don't know who that is. Oh, it's I think it's Kenny. Kenny came up with Kenny texted me a bunch. He texted me some ideas of how to do our own rainmakers because he said he would look into it for my birthday, so he did that. And so he came up with some good ideas, but I think it would still be a difficult undertaking. Like it would cost a lot of money, which we did have in the past, but like not so much now. All right, so not great, but good enough. Well, let me do it +1. So hopefully that's better. All right, so we have Bijan, the 4th overall. Kind of the elephant in the room here is not been drafted yet. We'll see if Sanders takes him. If not, I'm going to take him. All right, Christian McCaffrey. There you go. Kind of surprised that he wasn't going early, but he has an injury, so I can understand it at least. I'm going to draft CeeDee Lamb. He has not reported yet, which is, I guess, an issue, but not so much now. Now, if it's like 3 or 4 weeks later and he hasn't reported, then, we might have to worry that this is kind of like a Le'Veon Bell situation where he's going to hold out. But at this moment, like if I'm drafting now or this weekend or even next weekend, I'm not really worried about it. Like I feel like they're going to get something done. Although I did see that that Jerry Jones said he's not like worried about getting it done, and then CeeDee Lamb retweeted the video saying LOL. So I don't know. Maybe there's some tension there. And I do expect Dallas's offense to take a step back, but this all goes through Lamb. So I'd be shocked if he really struggles. So nothing that stands out to me as bad yet. These picks all make sense. It's nice that we don't have any computer picks. Usually on Fantasy Football Calculator we have 4 quarterbacks in a row, which is so annoying. And I like the minute per pick better. I don't know if you guys do. I don't know if you guys feel differently about that, but 45 seconds felt like kind of stressful. Where I feel like a minute, you're not like panicking nearly as much. And I do like that there is noise in between each pick because sometimes, like especially when I'm talking, like for me personally, like I'll miss it. Let's see. Yeah, Jones wants to stay in the news. Yeah. Even computer picks sleeper doesn't jerk us with bogus picks. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. This looks pretty good for now. That kid for the Bengals running back, Steele. I assume that's Chase Brown. I can see that. And I have a bunch of defensive players queued up. Nice. Can't wait. All right. So we are through the first round. AJ Brown just went. Let's see. Well, actually, hold on. This is I can't do this. So let me. All right, I have to go back to the normal size because I didn't see the 12th picks. I didn't have germs on the screen. All right, so Kyron Williams just went. Garrett Wilson as well. So yeah, no bad picks yet. I mean, this is all looking pretty good. Although I question Marvin Harrison Jr. there in this at 202. Like maybe he loves up to it for sure. I mean, he's super talented, but. Man, he's just a rookie. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. I think like rookies in general tend to go too early unless they're like late round sleepers. And I think this is the case here. Like you just don't know what you're going to get with Harrison. And also you have to worry about Kyler Murray getting hurt. That's always an issue. So, if Murray goes down, it's Desmond Ridder. So it's not going to look nearly as good. So I drafted out of the 6th spot. I haven't drafted in the middle yet. I either drafted at the beginning or the end so far in our mock draft. So I'm actually, I think this is pretty good because I feel like I'm going to get one of these running backs I like. There are 3 running backs I'm eyeing. So Travis Etienne being one of them. So, I'm up after Trump best. So, yeah, Josh Jacobs the other. So I'm going to get the guy I like, the third guy I liked, who's let's see here, running back. I'm going to get Isaiah Pacheco, who is going to see much more receiving work this year. Andy Reid was talking about how his protections have improved a lot. He's going to play on third downs because Jerick McKinnon's gone. And if they had concerns about Pacheco's ability to play third down, they would have re-signed McKinnon, but they haven't. So I think Pacheco is going to see a much bigger workload in the passing game this year, and he already has the bulk of the workload on the ground. So I think he's going to have a great year. Olave's one of these third round guys I don't like. I don't mind him much to say, but I think that I'd rather get him in the fourth round. But here he's going in the mid second round. I think he has a lot of potential. The problem is that Derek Carr is just so dreadful. But the receivers have produced with him, so I think this is an okay pick, but it just this end of second round and third round, I just don't like all these players. I think you can make a bear case for all of them. Devontae Adams is 31. You don't know where he might be traded to. Travis Kelce looked dreadful during the regular season last year. And I don't know if it's too early to take a tight end, especially one who's 34 years old. So, this is a rough spot to be drafting, I think. So, do you have any comments here? Pacheco 1,300-yard season. I can see that for sure. Sandra Brilliant, can I buy a piece of your teams? Yeah, Barkley 2 threes. Yeah, that's great for sure. Who else is Carr throwing to? No one really. I mean, Rashid Shaheed, I suppose. But yeah, I get it. It's just Olave. It's just that offense is going to suck. So you have to worry about the touchdowns. And the coaching's terrible. That team could bottom out this year, hypothetically, but I think they're going to be relevant enough to be 6-11, 7-10 as usual. Josh Allen, first quarterback goes. I think that's fine. Given how mediocre the end of second round and all third round is, you can certainly make the case to take quarterbacks here, and we see Mahomes go. So Drake London is drafted. Again, Kenny hates him. If Kenny was on right now, he'd be ranting about Drake London. I like him a little bit more than Kenny, but I do get the downside with London. It's just he just hasn't been great, and you could point to other receivers who produced despite having bad quarterbacks, which London has had. But this is his best opportunity so far. So, all right, so we have Brandon Ayuk, which I kind of wonder about because you just don't know where he's going to go. It sounds like Pittsburgh maybe, but I think the recent reports say that the Steelers haven't really met what the 49ers have been looking for. So there's no guarantee that he's going to be traded to the Steelers, which it's a good thing for him. All right, so Jalen Hurts just went. All three top running backs are off the board. So I won't be pursuing that avenue. So kind of interesting to note there. I'm not heartbroken about it. I think it's fine. Some better players felt to me actually, because this is half-PPR. If this were standard, some of the guys who are on the board right now, I'd be I'm not interested in them. But if it's half-PPR, there are a couple of running backs I think are kind of interesting. And then we'll see what Sanders does. Actually, I think interesting. Okay, Jalen Waddle. I thought Sanders was going to go for James Cook. But yeah, I like Jalen Waddle. I think he's one of the rare third round guys I like. And I like Olave, but I feel like his ADP is lower than that. And it just seems like you can get them later. But all these guys have downsides for sure. I'm going to go with James Cook. This is half-PPR, and James Cook catches a lot of passes. So I don't see a reason not to take him. I think he's going to have a good year. I don't see why you wouldn't. So Mega says, I'm Trump best prez. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Mega. Love T says Josh Allen has no weapons. Well, he has Cook. He has Dalton Kincaid. I think Kincaid's going to have a big year. Dick says he stole Debo from me, Cassandra. I like Debo for sure. John says Ray Davis will finish better than James Cook this year. Just know the training camp reports. Okay, interesting. I mean, James Cook is such a good weapon out of the backfield as a receiver. I feel like they're just different running backs. So they could just have different roles. But okay, I trust what you're saying. Joe Mixon was another guy I was looking at. I think he was a fine pick there. And there's one other running back I was strongly considering at 306. But the fact that 3 quarterbacks went already kind of like pushed everyone down a little bit. So if the quarterbacks weren't taken, James Cook and Mixon probably would have been drafted. Rashad White's the other guy. He catches a lot of passes. Then you have Derrick Henry, which I just can't get behind, especially in half PPR or any sort of PPR. He just does nothing in the passing game. He's a declining player. He's old. He's sharing touches with Tajay Spears last year. Baltimore's offensive line lost 3 players. I just can't get behind that pick. But I will say though that we are having more running back picks than we usually do. Like I think the draft on Tuesday, I want to say, like we had the entire 3rd round was just receivers and like 1 running back, which was pretty hilarious. So we at least have some diversity there. Now, Pittman was taken. You have to like him more in PPR formats. First tight end off the board. Sam Laporta went 5th round yesterday. So end of 3rd round here. I think it's okay. I like Laporta. I think he's the best tight end. So, if you're going to take one, that's fine. I'd rather just wait for a tight end because you get so much value at tight end in like the 10th, 11th, 12th round. I think you can just wait. So unless you're getting like a great value, I would just pass on them. And I don't think Laporta in the 3rd round is great value. 5th round, then maybe we're talking, but not so much here. So Devontae Smith just went. I like Smith. He's playing in the slot so far in training camp, which I think is interesting. I'm not completely sure what to make of that, but so let's see here. Okay, so I just opened up the whole window. So Kenneth Walker just went, who's his outlook has gotten a little bit better recently because the Seahawks signed Connor Williams, who's one of the best run blocking linemen in the NFL. This draft is clipping right along. Yeah, this is smooth so far. No quadruple quarterbacks yet, although we are in the 4th round. We'll see. Dick says, I wanted Tyreek, Debo, Allen. Sorry, that would have been pretty strong. Kelsey went round 2. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It wasn't the first time off the board. Yeah, I just completely forgot about that because that's so early. And that's insane. Like Kelsey in the 2nd round is insane. Laporta in the 3rd round is at least logical. I can get behind that. I don't think it's a bad pick, but I think you can just wait. So yeah, you're a good call, Dick. Sorry about that. All right, so Kamara went. I like Kamara in the 5th round, not so much 4th round, just because you just don't know what you're going to get from him injury wise. Like he misses like 3 games every year, and that offensive line looks horrible. That's another reason why I'm worried about Olave is just because I don't know how functional that offensive line is going to be. Like if Talis Fawaga doesn't pan out as a rookie, like they're not going to be able to block anyone. It is going to be bad. All right, so I'm up again. Kind of looking at receiver, I think, or maybe running back. Kind of want to see if some of these guys come back to me. Yeah, I'm going to. I actually want to see if this guy comes back to me. I'm kind of curious. So I'm going to go with. We'll see if John Sanders has criticized this one. Going to go with Stephon Diggs. I think that he will bounce back this year. I haven't drafted him yet. Kind of want to see what happens there. Devon Achane kind of goes late. That's the latest I've seen him. Sanders has that Waddle Achane clash. I like the value with Achane for sure in the 4th round, but I worry about that a little bit. I hate having running back receiver from the same team. But with Stephon Diggs, like he did nothing in the second half last year, but he's 31. Like he runs routes well. I think that he can play well into his mid-30s, and he's going to be with CJ Stroud, who just was phenomenal last year. Not that Josh Allen's bad or anything like that. But we've seen Stephon Diggs perform well with Allen outside of the Joe Brady games. So I don't know why he would just fall off like suddenly. I think he was just either injured or he was phased out for some reason. So I think that he could bounce back and have a decent season. So Montgomery went a little early for me in a PPR league, but he could produce, so it's fine. All right, so we'll see what SB and Wayne does because he has not drafted a running back yet. It's kind of interesting take here. Maybe he's going to 0 running back, which I hate like having like preconceived strategies heading into a draft. Like, hey, I'm not going to draft a running back, but like, what happens if a great value falls to you? Okay, so he took Zamir White. Kenny, another pick Kenny would hate, just because like Zamir White doesn't strike me as a great talent, and it's not like the offensive line's amazing either. But then again, I'm still salty from Zamir White costing me like $60,000 in DraftKings. Nico Collins went. So I had Stephon Diggs over Collins, especially in PPR. So Trey McBride goes. Kenny and I disagreed on McBride yesterday. He thinks McBride's going to have a great year. I think he can have a good year as well, but I just think he's going to cede targets to Harrison. Higgins goes. I like Higgins. And yeah, this draft's like doing pretty well. John says I don't even like HM, but the value is too good. I agree with that. Cassandra says one thing I don't like about Sleeper is that you don't get a different sound alert when it's your turn to pick. Really? I feel like I got a different sound alert. I'm gonna make sure. But okay, Stroud goes. Let's considering Stroud on the way back. Andrews is taken as well. Andrews has been all over the place. I've seen him taken 4th round. I've seen him taken 7th round in our mock draft so far. So I don't know why there's such a big variance with him, but there has been. I feel like 5th round is probably fine, So Sanders is up, and then I'm going to see if my thing makes a different sound. The guy I was looking at has come back to me. Malik Neighbors, yeah, I got a different sound, Cassandra, for my pick. So I don't know why you didn't. Maybe it's in your settings or something, but I didn't do anything with that. So I got a different sound for my pick. So the guy I was looking at came back to me, and so I'm going to draft him. Let's go to running backs. James Conner, who was terrific at the end of last year. And he always has these injury issues, and you have to worry about Kyler Murray going down because then the offense isn't going to be as functional. But while Murray is healthy, I think he should still be good. So it's kind of a classic start for me. Running backs, receivers here. I've been going quarterback the past couple of drafts, which just felt weird, but I do think that's the strategy. And if one of those top three quarterbacks fell to me, then I would have drafted them for sure. One of them at 306, but that didn't happen. So it's fine. So you always have to adjust and stuff. I like the CJ Stroud value in round 5. I think I would have taken him at 506 had he been there, especially to pair with Stephon Diggs. There's do you guys hear? Am I like? There's like a tabbing sound. Is that do you guys hear that, or is that something on my computer? Maybe I'm losing my mind here, but there's like a tapping sound going on. I don't know if this is a sleeper.com or anything like that, but it's a weird. I've never heard the sound before on my computer, but I'm running on like no sleep, so maybe I don't know. Yeah, Sanchez was using this all night yesterday. Never noticed a different sound. Idiot. Relap says, I think they were about to run out of time. I'm still hearing like a tapping sound. Do you guys hear that? I don't know. Again, maybe I'm losing my mind. I don't know. That reminds me, there's this video game. I can't remember what it was called, but it really messed with your mind. Like it would it would make you think that you were crazy. Like, well, the character would have like these sanity points, and like if they went insane, they would like the buttons wouldn't work and stuff like that, and they would just like go crazy and just you'd lose the game. But the game actually made you crazy, where like if their sanity points went down, like the volume on your TV would just go down, or like your TV would shut off, or it'd be like your memory card has been erased. And like the first time that happened, you're like, oh, dude, what the hell? Like, are you kidding me? But that was a really cool game. It was for, let's say it's for GameCube or something. It was I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. It was an awesome game. But I don't know if you guys hear that tapping as I'm hearing it. So Stevenson went. It's kind of trying to keep track of what's going on here. So kind of regret the Stephon Diggs pick a little bit because, Collins went after that and the other Texan receiver is still there. I don't know. I guess it's okay. So I can hear it. Yeah, it sounds like a clicking. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, you guys are here. Okay, so I'm not crazy. So yeah, half-PPR, yeah. What in the world is that? Like, what is going on here? I don't know what that is, but it is it's kind of annoying. I don't know if it like makes up for like no quarterbacks going back to back to back to back, but I don't know like what's going on here. Tank Dell just went, so not that I was going to take him because I had Diggs, but I would have been like, yeah, it's good value. I wish I didn't take Diggs because I got to cut Tank Dell 2 rounds later. Kyle Pitts just went. Not crazy about Kyle Pitts. I don't know. It's something like with him, but maybe he has a great year. I don't know. It's something like rubs me the wrong way about him. Right. So I am up after this. There are a couple of receivers I like. I've already have 3 running backs, so I think I'm looking at a receiver here. Yeah, Chris Godwin went. I like Godwin. He's going to play in the slot. So, like, this reminds me of, like, someone drilling outside and you always hear it. Like, it's just, especially have, like, these headphones on. So, it's kind of annoying. All right. I am going to. So, this is kind of risky. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do this pick. I'm going to take him fees around later. So, I've drafted this guy a few times, and I guess no one likes him because I keep getting him. But let's see where he is. Let's see if I can search. Here we go. Okay, Hollywood Brown. That's what I was looking for. Marquise Brown, but yeah. So Marquise Brown, I've talked about him quite a bit. He's never had a great passing. He's never. I know this is a conflict. Pacheco and Brown. I just think this is good value with Brown. He's never had a great passing quarterback, but now he does. So I feel like the Chiefs' offense can facilitate like two players here. It's not ideal, but I was actually looking at another receiver. I wanted to see if he could come back to me because I think there's a possibility that he would. So I went with Brown, but again, not ideal, but. Like he's my 3rd receiver. It's not like I went super early with 2. So as we keep hearing the tapping, it's kind of annoying. Sorry, Cassandra, with that Brown pick. Yeah, I prefer a 5/8 PPR league. Yes. I mean, why not? George Pickens was the guy. So good pick, Slew. I was wondering if he'd come back to me. So my worry about about Pickens here is that like if I was drafting and like for real, there's a chance that Ayuk is traded to Pittsburgh and then Pickens' projected stats go down. Like right now, he's the only guy in Pittsburgh. And he's talented, so that doesn't violate Kenny's rules. Like, who else is there? But I mean, Pickens is a really good talent. So I feel like he's a fine pick in a vacuum, but you don't know if the dynamics are going to change there because if Ayuk is there, suddenly that's a lot of targets that just go away from him. So. All right, Jalen Warren, Tony Pollard. These are guys I was considering. It's funny the 2 Pittsburgh running backs went so close to each other. I don't know who I like more. I know Kenny likes Warren more. I can see the case for Harris. I'm pretty like even on both of those guys. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything you can do about the tapping noise. You stumped me Warren for me, Togo. If any guys like figures out how to shut off the tapping noise without hitting mute, like I'm all ears because this is annoying. It's not like I can go on mute either because just like I'm like waiting for the sounds because I'm drafting here. So although I don't have a guess, so I suppose I could, but I don't know. It's not like that bad. And now it's faster, or now and then it's slow. It's so weird. I wonder if it's like it's a constant thing. Otherwise, I'd be like, is this Morse code? You know, there's someone in sleeper.com who needs help. Tashi Spears just went. I forgot to drop J.K. Dobbins in my rankings. I see him close to the top. Like, he should not be close to the top. So I'm up after Sanders to see what Sanders does. He took George Kittle last, which I like in the 6th round, because if Ayuk is traded, then Kittle's production is going to go up. But you always have to worry about the Trent Williams injuries, because when Williams goes down, Kittle's production plummets because he has to block so much. And John Sanders has McCaffrey, Achane, Olave, Waddle, Neighbors. I think that's a good start. I worry about Neighbors a little bit just because I don't know about Daniel Jones. It's funny, like Neighbors was wide open today. Drew Lock just didn't throw him the ball for some reason. And the crowd was like, "Ah!" It's funny. It's like the guy. Well, they can't boo too much because he's the new backup, and it's not like he's going to be playing there, or at least until Daniel Jones gets hurt. All right, so I'm up again. I have 3 running backs, 3 receivers. I don't feel the need to take a quarterback. Don't really see the point right now because there's better value late. And so I'm going to go with a running back here, I think, unless he was already taken. Austin Eckler. So, I mean, in a standard league, no, but it's half-PPR. Eckler's going to catch a lot of passes, I think, this year. And I think Washington's offense is going to be better overall. So, 7th round for Eckler in any sort of PPR league, I think I'm on board with that. Although, I mean, it's still a timeshare, but, I think if, you're looking at receivers, then it's fine. All right, let me do this. Yeah, because the screen is going to be blocking some picks soon. All right, so what do we have here? The main reason would probably be because he's Drew Lock. Yeah. so bad. Tommy DeVito looked better today. I know it's preseason, it doesn't matter, but I feel like DeVito would be better anyway. I just don't know. Like, I don't get the fascination with Drew Lock. I like McLaurin too. If it was 2 flexes, I would have picked him if he fell. Yeah, I like him as well. Kid No Name says, sounds like someone's clicking the mouse over and over again. You know what it sounds like is like one of those, like, I don't know what they're called, but like people have them in their office. They're like 5 balls, and like one goes to the right and they clicks back and forth. That's what it sounds like to me. Rashi Rice went. That's interesting because you don't know how long he's going to be suspended. I think 7th round is a little too rich for me. I think like maybe 9th for me. For Rice, I don't know. I just worry about the suspension. Like, if he gets 6 games, it's the 3rd of the year. So Swift is gone. He's gonna be injured, but when he's healthy, he's gonna be okay. There's some decent running backs left, I think. I like one of the receivers, so maybe he'll come back to me. I don't feel a need to go quarterback yet. I think most is a good pick. I think he's good value there, even though he gets hurt a lot. I think 7th round is pretty good value for him. So yeah, for quarterbacks. So who's quarterback? So the top 5 players all have quarterbacks. So I don't have to take one in the 8th round because unless they snipe a backup, which doesn't make sense. I don't have to take one. So there are 3 teams. I always like doing this in my real drafts, and I like being able to do this here. Because, you don't have computer drafting stupid, like 4 quarterbacks in a row. I like to look at the quarterbacks and, like, see if I need to draft a quarterback. So Germ, John Tron, Kid No Name, and Trump Best don't have quarterbacks. So I like to look at the quarterbacks available, and I'm like, okay, which ones could they take? And if there's, like, I just named 4 teams that don't have quarterbacks. If there's, like, 5 quarterbacks I like, then I'm, like, really comfortable with just waiting. But if there's like 3 quarterbacks I like, then I think I would take one in the 9th round. So that's something I would have to evaluate. Just a quick glance. There are 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there are 5 quarterbacks I like. 6 actually. There's 6 quarterbacks I'd be comfortable with drafting. So I feel no need to take a quarterback at all. So Jordan Addison just went. You have to worry about his suspension. Jake Ferguson. I do the same thing for tight ends too. But I found that like 11th round has been the sweet spot for tight ends this year, and I think that will continue. We'll see. I haven't done half PPR yet, but we shall see. Chris says Hooker looks like another great preseason QB in the making. Sudfeld is an expensive clipboard stand. Sudfeld was so bad today. He was horrible. And then Hooker got concussed. So, he's not going to be a great preseason quarterback if he can't stay healthy. Now, if he can, then yes. But it's, I don't know. It sucks that he just got hurt again. I know it's a concussion, but still. It's thankfully, it wasn't like a knee. If he re-injured his knee, like that would be devastating for his career. Let's see what Trump Best has 2 running backs and 5 receivers, looks like. So we'll see what he does here. And none of these guys. Well, if Trump Best takes a quarterback, we'll see. But none of these guys have taken quarterbacks. So Chuba Hubbard is one of those running backs I like. So that was a really good pick on from Trump Best. I like Hubbard a lot. So he would have been a consideration for me for sure. And I think looks like the receiver I like has fallen to me. It looks like, yeah, unless I missed him. Yeah, I think he has. So, all right, let's draft this guy. I really like the 60 seconds better than the minute, than 45 seconds. I mean, so let's see here. Maybe I missed him. I don't know. I did not. Christian Watson. I talked about him a lot this offseason, how he's kind of like investigating why he's had chronic hamstring issues. And he found out that like one of his hamstrings was like much larger than the other one. So I don't know what he did, but he must have done something, I guess. I don't know. But if he has, then if he stays healthy, like that's a game changer because he has so much potential. So yeah. All right. So we are heading toward the second half of the 8th round. Xavier Worthy's off the board. I feel like Worthy's gone earlier than this. I think someone took him in the 6th round in one of our mock drafts. It may have been the Nuggets Butters one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of Worthy. Like all the other guys who have run fast 40s all busted. So just because he ran a fast 40 like doesn't mean anything. But he could, I don't know, he could be good. I'm not saying he can't. Brian Thomas went. I like that pick a lot, Slew. Keon Coleman went. I don't like that as much. I think it's a little too early for Keon Coleman. But yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of considering one quarterback in the way back for a specific reason, but I think I'm still going to wait. I guess it depends who's going to be on the board. Some of our sleepers are going. Brian Thomas and Chase Brown, both of my sleepers page, which I ideally like to start drafting sleepers in the 10th round, but I think everyone here is pretty sharp. It seems like so. It's not like you have any noobs soaking up bad players, which you tend to have in most leagues. Talked about the story with Kenny last night, but yeah, when we used to have this one league, there's always these guys like they're like 2 fat guys who are the same. They shared a team for some reason. They're like best friends or something. But yeah, they were drafting off a fantasy magazine, and our league is not PPR, and they had the PPR cheat sheet open, and so they were drafting out of a PPR format, even though it wasn't PPR. So you always have like stupid players like that in your leagues. Like I guess hypothetically you can have like a really sharp league where everyone's smart, but usually like 1 or 2 dumb people find their way into the league. So yeah, I'm up again after this pick. Blake Corum goes. I think I'm going to go back on what I said earlier. I think I'm going to draft a quarterback ahead of Trump Best Kid No Name, Packer Fan, and Germ. And this is specific because, well, first of all, this guy is number 1 on my board right now at the position. And overall, actually, too. And 2, I'm pairing him with someone I have, which I like doing. Actually, hold on. There's 2 choices for this here. Let's see. Yeah, this is so. All right, I'm gonna pick Jordan Love. So this may seem weird because I have CeeDee Lamb and I could have taken Dak Prescott, but I have Christian Watson, so I'm taking Jordan Love. I think Dallas really takes a step back this year offensively because they lost Tyron Smith and they lost Taylor Biotish. Like those are two big losses on the offensive line. Like, I think they're just really going to regress. And we've seen Dak Prescott before just really struggle, like when he's had inadequate blocking. They still have Zach Martin, but he's 34. He's definitely not the same player he once was. Tyler Smith's a good player, and we'll see what they get out of Tyler Guyton, the first rounder that they got in the draft this past April. But if he doesn't pan out, and if Cooper Beebe, I think second or third round, I can't remember what round they got him in, the guard from Kansas State, or guard center, he's going to play center. If he doesn't play well either, like if one of those guys busts and one of them's just okay, and they're both rookies, so like that could happen. Like suddenly you're going to be like, oh, you can't block at all. Dak Prescott's going to struggle as a result. So that really bothers me. So that's why I went Jordan Love, no cookie Jordan Love, I should say, over Dak Prescott. But kind of curious to hear you guys what you guys think about that. So I'm also kind of curious to see where Trump, Best, Kid No Name, Packer Fan, and Germ go with the quarterbacks now. Let's see. Chris says, do you think people draft your sleepers to try and impress you, or maybe they're hoping to sleep with you, or both? Well, I've done drafts of women before, so hopefully the latter when that has occurred. But no, I don't know if they're trying to impress me rather than win money. But I talked about this yesterday as well. No, it was on Tuesday where I talked about it, where there's this one guy. It has happened a couple times, but like this one guy would do it like really blatantly. He like, for example, if he was drafting 5th and I was drafting 8th, he would come up to me like as he was picking. He's like, "What do you think about this guy?" And he'd point to me, but he like point to his fantasy magazine and like for a flyer. And I'm like, the first time I did it, I'm like, I like him, and then like he did it again, and I'm like, dude, come on, man, like you're like what's the fun in this? Like you're supposed to have fun drafting. Like, why are you asking my opinion? First of all, you could just go to my website and read my opinion, you know. But like this guy, like he, like almost every pick, he would come up to me and ask my opinion on the pick. It's just like, dude, this is not life or death. Like, you know, you're not gonna die if you have a bad team. You know, it's just have fun. It's a draft. Like, just chill out. So, yeah, but so to answer your question, maybe it's a mix of both. So Dak Prescott went. So yeah, I mean that's fine. It's fine in 10th round for sure. He tends to go earlier. I just really worry about his potential downside. So it says, well, why didn't you give him responses like I would? Well, what responses would you give him? Curious as to what you would say. It says you guys are pretty sharp. That's why these mocks help. Yeah, these mocks are like a real huge help, especially when you start drafting with stupid people. Best ball is just receiver spam fest. They don't have much for redrafts. Yeah, I agree. From what I've heard, I haven't done it yet, but like when I've listened to analysis of it, and I feel like it's the same. This is so much better than FFC. Yeah, it really is. It really is, except for that clicking sound. I could do without that, but. So we have our first double quarterback. Packer fan to Caleb Williams. I think that's a little too early for Caleb. I think he could have gotten 12th round. Jalen Wright just went another one of my sleepers off the board. I haven't opened up my sleepers page yet, but maybe I should because I feel like a lot of these guys are gone. But anyway, Sutton just went. I call him Mr. Touchdown Regression guy. He scored 10 touchdowns last year. It seems so fluky. I'd be shocked if that happens again. I'm looking at tight ends. There are 5-6 tight ends I really like. So I have no urgency to take a tight end, especially with like 1, 3, 4, and 5 all taking tight end. I can definitely wait. Jaden Daniels is another quarterback I liked. He comes with more risk because he's a rookie, but he has immense upside. Tua's the other quarterback I was looking at. So looks like everyone's filling in quarterbacks. I don't have to take one here because, like I said, these other guys have taken tight ends. So I get to potentially take a sleeper of mine. Or maybe you could wait on a sleeper because a lot of the sleepers went. But, I mean, there's one guy I've been drafting, and I'm going to draft him again, until people start drafting him early. And I feel like that's going to change as soon as this trade happens. Ricky Pearsall, I'd be shocked if Ayuk isn't traded. And so as soon as that happens, his ADP is going to skyrocket. So, like, I'm not going to get him in the 10th round. So maybe this is just bad practice, but like, I feel like he should be going earlier. So yeah. Again, I like there are 6 tight ends I love, and like I doubt all these tight ends go here, especially except for maybe Cassandra, who needs a tight end. Like that's the only person who can take a tight end here. Shakir, another person on my sleepers list. So Ray Davis, another person on my sleepers list. So I don't think I'm gonna have anyone left there, unfortunately. Jameson Williams goes. Always been a disappointment, but maybe this year it's gonna be different. We'll see. That guy is probably your average 5 to 6 inches. Also, probably 3 inches. Him, Pat Mahomes, at least 15. Yes. They need to. Yeah, what is that clicking noise? Maybe it's just a fluke that happened to us. I don't know. This is very strange. All right, so we move into the 11th round now. Algier went. Adonai Mitchell as well. Yeah, we kind of like his upside. And then Ty Chandler. Kenny hates Chandler so much. I think he's okay. I like Kenny's like he sucks. I think he's okay. I don't know. Evan Ingram was the top 10 on my board, so good pick, Cassandra. I would have taken Ingram, but I feel like a lot of these tight ends are kind of the same. So who has tight ends here? Trump does not. Kid No Names does not. Packer fan doesn't. Packer fan does. So yeah, I'm incentivized to take tight end in the 11th round here. So that's again, it's like what I like to do. I'm sure you guys do as well, but always look at the draft board and the positions, and that kind of helped me in the 10th round there because I didn't need to take a tight end because Cassandra was the only person who's going to take a tight end. Rashid Shaheed, I think that he has some potential if the offensive line is fine. If the offensive line is not fine, Carr's not going to have any time to find Shaheed downfield. So it all depends on the offensive line for him. But he is going to have some chances. Xavier Leggett just went. He didn't play tonight. I think he's banged up, but he'll be fine by the regular season. All right, so I am up. I forgot to cross out Ricky Beersall. All right, so I'm going to go tight end, and I've been drafting this guy in every draft because he keeps falling to the 11th round. I think Kenny took him. In the. I'm not sure. I don't know if Kenny took him last night. I can't remember, but Dallas Goedert for some reason in the 11th round. I don't understand it. I get that there are other weapons there, but he's just so good, and that offense is amazing. So he's going to have plenty of opportunities. So. And I don't have an Eagle, so it works out for me. Let's see. Relap says I would have taken Ingram earlier if I didn't have Kirk. It makes sense. I think Ingram was a steal there. Chris says, for what it's worth, I can't hear the clicking sound noise through YouTube. Maybe it's just all in your heads, or maybe you're messing with us, Chris. Matt says, hey there, I just shipped off Pickens and Swift to receive Jamar Chase. Are you serious? Wow. How did you pull that off? That's fantastic. Good job, Matt. That's great. Was the other guy drunk? Yeah, Chris says, unless you give draft picks something else, very one-sided. Yeah, definitely. The addition of Barkley scaring people off Goddard. I don't know. I feel like the offense is going to be so much more explosive. Like they're going to have more scoring opportunities. I just don't get it. Charbonnet went, who's just okay, I think. Although I like him a lot more with Connor Williams there. So I have not moved him up my rankings. I should do that. Lockett went. There's this one guy who he had to have been drafted. I feel like such an idiot for that. Yeah, okay. It was Zay Flowers. I'm like he was still available on my board. I don't know. I was looking at that like 2 rounds ago. I'm like, he had to have been taken. I just haven't seen that, so I didn't even bother looking. But yeah, he was taken a while ago. I'm not going to be like Jacoby Myers. That's a fantastic pick. Who made that? Joe Baller. That's a great pick. I was going to do that. I think I was like thinking about it last night. I'm like, it makes so much sense for Jacoby Myers just to be a great pick because Devontae Adams could be traded, and like with that happens, suddenly you're going to have the number 1 receiver in the 11th round. That's pretty amazing. Roshan Johnson, another sleeper. I don't know if I have any sleepers left. I'm gonna John Palmer, another sleeper. So I probably almost certainly don't have any sleepers left. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to open up my sleepers file on my computer. I'm going to see if I have anyone left. Let's see. And you guys can just go to the page and see. At least I got Pearsall. He's gone. Okay, so he's left. It's one left. 2 left, 3 left. Okay, I have 3 guys left, so I have some options. Still, like, not ideal in the 12th round. I only have 3 sleepers left. In fact, like in my on my big board, I'm like closing in on like kickers and defenses as being the top players, which is not a good sign. Well, I guess it's a good sign that we're drafting with smart people. J.K. Dobbins went as another. He wasn't on my sleepers page because I removed him because of the Achilles scare, but when you get to the 12th, 13th round, I think that you have to kind of take a shot on him because if he can buck that trend, he's going to be running in an offense that's going to be super run heavy and has an improved offensive line. So I think he has a lot of potential. He just has like a super low floor with that Achilles. So 12th round, like what else are you going to do here? So I think it's a pretty good pick. So, all right. Who's left here? It's like there's a bunch of tight ends near the top. I didn't remove Jalen Wright. He's gone. There's just injured players, defenses, and players on bad teams. Like Joe McLaughlin, like he has a great chance to do stuff this year, but man, Denver looks horrible, at least on paper. Maybe it'll be better than I think, but I don't know. Stanley says, "Hey, Walt, the Giants look good today. Do you still think they could be the worst team in the NFL?" Oh yeah, I mean, look at how great Kenny Pickens looked in the preseason last year. He was unstoppable, and then he was just dreadful. And Mason Rudolph outplayed him during the season. So I wouldn't take anything into account in the preseason. And they were playing against a Lions team that had no starters. Like Nate Sudfeld started for the Lions, so any defense would look great against Nate Sudfeld. I wouldn't read anything into that. So with Dotson gone, I only have 2 sleepers left. So pretty rough scene here. This is a lot tougher drafting. I'm glad we like the clicking aside. I'm glad we moved to sleeper.com because this is much tougher because you don't have teams drafting 4 quarterbacks in a row. So in the fantasy football calculator, you just had like good players available here, and you don't have that at all. So, well, I have 2 sleepers left on my page, so I'm going to draft one of them, even though it's ADP's 16th round. But you guys have stolen all the good players for me. Do I only have 3 running backs? No. Is that true? Anyway, so yeah, Braylon Allen. I like what I'm hearing from him. Yeah, why does it say only 3 running backs? I have 5. So Braylon Allen. I like what I'm hearing from him. He's the RB2. He's like locked in. They like him a lot. If Breece Hall goes down, like Allen he's one of the best. I think one of the best handcuffs you can get. Just because as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I know it's a big if, but if he does, like he's going to be super productive if Hall gets injured. So Khalil Herbert got drafted. He's kind of interesting because don't know where he's going to play. I think there's a chance he gets traded to like Dallas or something. So I'm kind of interested because I'm interested in him because I feel like they're set with Swift and Roschon Johnson. Wicks is a good pick. They're kind of set with Roschon Johnson and Swift, and like Herbert was playing behind Roschon Johnson. Roschon Johnson is younger, and for some reason, teams just don't like Herbert for whatever reason. I think that's I think it's an interesting pick because he could end up going to a team and being the starter. So it's a lot of potential there. We are in the 13th round now, so we have Brandon Cooks leading off. Marshawn Lloyd has some potential there. Matthias says, "Hey, Walter's drafting the QB, running back, and receiver from the same team, hindering the number of points one can get during a week." Running back and receiver from the same team, yes. If you draft quarterback plus receiver, that is good because you are you are stacking and you're giving yourself a higher upside. You know, if the quarterback throws a receiver, obviously you get both points. Whereas if you have the quarterback and not the receiver, someone's going to score points, and you know, hopefully it's not your opponent. But yeah, if you have the quarterback to receiver connection, you're going to get double points. And like I talked about this before, like the best team I've ever had, I had two like best teams ever where like I lost one game the entire time. I've never gone undefeated, but I've gone like 13-1 or 12-1 or whatever. And then I went on to win the championship. This one team, I had Brady to Gronk when they were in the prime. And like, I know not receiver, but still same principle. That was insane because like that was Gronk's best year. It was like Brady's one of his best years. And like they just kept connecting, and it was just amazing. And I like won the championship easily. Like it wasn't even close. So yeah, you want the stack there, and I did that with Jordan Love and Christian Watson. And you could even have like quarterback plus two other receivers. I think that's fine. Or quarterback plus receiver and tight end. Running back is different though, because those guys score rushing touchdowns. But if you're talking about a running back who catches a lot of passes, you know, like Austin Eckler, for example, if you pair Austin Eckler with Jaden Daniels, I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, I am on the clock here. There's one sleeper left on my sleepers page, so I'm going to draft him. And he's like my least favorite sleeper, I suppose. But what are you going to do? Actually, you know what? I am no. You know what? I'm going to draft the sleeper. His name is Darnell Mooney, who kind of like had a good year like 3 years ago and just like has fallen off for whatever reason. But I think that there's a chance that he does well with a better quarterback. And I know that goes against like what Kenny and I have been saying with Drake London, but like I'm not saying Mooney's going to be a great player. I just think that he could be pretty decent. So, but he is my least favorite sleeper, I should say. You got me again, Cassandra, with Wicks. Glad I'm not drafting next to you, and I'm not drafted to be sick. Yeah, hopefully you're drafting next to someone who drafts PPR and standard. Yeah, not if it's late 90s Rams. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like if you have Marshall Faulk who catches a ton of passes, like if it's a pass catcher running back, you're good there. Relab says, I know we're doing 16 rounds, but I only see 15 in the grid. Hopefully it works out the way we want. Is that true? Yeah, you're right. It only goes to 15. I wonder. We'll see. I mean, it's not like the biggest deal, you know. If we stop at 15, it's okay. Yeah, or the Dolphins 70-point game. Yeah. How do you feel about the three from Baltimore this year? Lamar, Henry, and Flowers. I would not put Henry with Lamar. I think that's a clash for sure. Like that, like there's negative correlation there. Like Lamar is not going to throw passing touchdowns at Derrick Henry. Maybe one this year. Like that's just not going to happen. So like when Lamar scores a touchdown, Henry's not scoring it. When Henry scores a touchdown, Lamar's not scoring it. So you're hurting yourself there a lot. You like Lamar plus Flowers is good. If you want to go Lamar plus Flowers plus Andrews, even like that's fine. Although like if you're going to do that with a quarterback, make sure it's not a scrambling quarterback because they're going to, you know, Lamar Jackson's going to score rushing touchdowns. That's going to hurt you. But if it's a passing quarterback, for example, like let's look at like CJ Stroud here. Like if you have CJ Stroud plus Tank Dell plus Dalton Schultz, you know, that's pretty good. Or even like Stroud plus Diggs plus Dell. I think that could work too. Like if he has a monster game, like you're going to go off. So yeah, so yeah, it really depends on like the scrambling quarterback plus like whether the running back catches passes. So, you know, in the Eckler example, although Jaden Daniels is also a rushing quarterback, but like if you wanted to go like Aaron Rodgers plus Breece Hall plus there's no other pass catcher there. I mean, it's a bad example. If you wanted to go Jared Goff plus Jahmyr Gibbs plus Amon-Ra St. Brown, like if at the turn, if you got St. Brown and Gibbs and then you drafted Jared Goff, I think that's fine. But yeah, so hope that answers your question. Debo, McLaurin, Brown, Wicks, Coleman, all players are ready to click on. So a lot of sniping going on. Okay, refresh the show 16 round. I will refresh once we're done 15. So just to make sure I'm not kicked out or anything like that. So there's Dalton Schultz. There's Jared Goff. Funny. Let's just talk about those guys. I was considering Tyron Tracy. That's a good pick. He looked good tonight. I don't know if that means much because I don't expect much from the Giants. Like that's my only concern with Tyron Tracy. Like you're drafting a guy from a bad team, but he looked good at least. Sandra says, I said earlier you need a fresh 16. Okay, yeah. Yeah, can you do more than 60 rounds? Yes, you can. I don't know. I don't really see the point, but you can. Play IDP formats. Wouldn't recommend using sleeper IDP mocks. The data isn't up to stuff. Okay. Yeah, I've never done IDP. Just never. It's not my thing. You can start 3 receivers, 2 flex. Yeah, you can make your own settings, which is pretty cool. All right, so I am on the clock now. Andre Yoshivas just went. It's interesting. All right, so let's see who's the best player available here. It's just a bunch of quarterbacks, tight ends. Who's the best running back available? Damian Pierce, Clyde Edwards, Tank Bigsby. Yeah. No one good. I know who I want. My man Greg Dortch. I had a Rainmaker card of Greg Dortch, which I bought for like $500, but like it was you get to play Rainmaker contest with that, and so I thought it was going to like produce. I like Greg Dortch in PPR formats. I think he can catch a decent number of passes. He works hard. It's funny Michael Wilson just went. He works really hard, and I think that he's going to be one of the underrated players this year. And I think like maybe not fantasy wise. I think in real life, I think he's going to be pretty good. Damari Douglas I was considering too. But yeah, I think Greg Dortch is kind of underrated in PPR formats. I wouldn't take him in standard, but I think like he can produce in PPR. Dick says, Walt, you can pause the draft at any time. You can even adjust players if you want. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Kid No Name says we may have to move off sleepers. I can't draft my player. Favorite player, Deller and Turner. That's a shame. Rest in peace, Deller and Turner. If the site's down one day, we have to go back to FFC. Maybe you can do that again. Santa says, do you think Missouri receiver Luther Burden the third will have a breakout year, or it could be most explosive receiver in college football? Yeah, I think he will be the first receiver taken. Although, I mean, like, we still have a long way to go. Like, a lot could change. But if the draft were now, I think Burden would be the top receiver. In fact, he might be the only receiver drafted in the first round this April, this upcoming April. It's 8 months now from now. But the receiver class doesn't look great, but Burden's pretty good. So I think that I think Charlie has him in the top 10 of his mock. I think I have him like around 15 or so. But he could go higher. I just had trouble putting him in the spot. Yeah, I think I mean this is look great. I'm looking forward to doing more mock drafts on Sleeper. This is fantastic. Much better than Fantasy Football Calculator, except for the ticking. I don't know what that is. For those of you who refreshed, did the clicking stop? I kind of wonder about that. Which I will refresh if the 16th round doesn't show up, if once we get through round 15. Relapse says, I don't have any clicking. Well, consider yourself lucky. It is annoying. It's kind of ridiculous. It does, like, I don't know what those things are called. I said this before. It sounds like one of the things in the office where you have like 5 balls and like 3 are stationary and like one keeps clicking back and forth with itself. So yeah, it's super annoying. So I am up. I'm kind of interested in this guy. Josh Downs is available. I know he's hurt. I know he's a high ankle sprain, but he as a PPR guy, I think he is producing pretty well last year. And he was only a rookie. So like, if he's out for like 6 weeks or something. Returns like week 4, week 5. Although I don't know if he's going to stay on my roster. So maybe this is a bad pick, but I think if he returns earlier than expected and I could like, I don't know if I'd play him week 1 or week 2, but I think that he has some potential. Like if he weren't hurt, he'd be going a lot earlier in this. And so if he can get off the injury quicker than expected, then I think that he could be good. But I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. All my favorite players are taken, so I'm not used to having this caliber of draft. So we have that's our second kicker, Harrison Butker. So Chris is undoubtedly happy about that one. And we will soon find out if I need to refresh. Usually text alert when it's your turn anyways. That's true. I have not gotten texts. I don't know if I didn't get any emails. Let me see. See my phone. I don't think I gave him my phone number, so maybe that's I didn't get any texts. That's probably why. Chris did not tell me to draft Bucker. All right, so we are approaching the 16th round. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, this is looking great. I like this a lot. Trevor Lawrence, he was one of the quarterbacks that wanted Trevor Lawrence right here. That I was considering earlier when I took Jordan Love. So it just kind of like shows you how good the value is. I don't know if you guys heard that. Sometimes up it says like, "Come on, dude." Oh man, that's funny. At least it didn't take his third quarterback, right? I said, okay, 16th round appeared, so we're good. Browns just went. I did not take a defense. I will be looking to take a kicker. I just want to see who's available. If like Camden, whatever his name is available, or if like Trenton Gill, I'll be pretty happy. I haven't looked at all. I'm kind of like scared to look at the kickers, but yeah, I'll be making my final pick soon. So yeah, looking great until that ticking stops, and then you know what? Yeah. I would trade you Tyreek for Brees as a redo if I got Debo as my turn 2-3 pick. Henry Ruggs. Trent Gill's a punter, so he won't show up. Yeah, I know. It's just I figured he wouldn't, but you know, he was there on Fantasy Football Calculator on the kicker, so I don't know. I don't know why, but okay. So McPherson went. Yeah, Henry Ruggs. Nice pick. All right, so I'm up for my last pick, and we'll see what kickers we have here. Let's see. Do we have? Let's look at Camden. Camden. We have Camden Lewis. Yes, nice. All right, let's try to pick someone else here. Let's see. John Brown. Isn't kicked in? I'm gonna take John Brown just for the memories. Oh, this is a different John Brown. John Brown. He used to kick for the Giants and Seahawks in like the 2000s and the aughts. I don't know who this Jay Brown is. He's a black guy with blonde hair or something. I don't know. Never heard of this Jay Brown guy. All right, so yeah, glad we could still do our troll kickers. That's I was glad to see Camden Lewis still there. I don't know. I guess you have to have him. I didn't see if Trent Gill's there. Let's see. Trenton, no Trenton Gill, unfortunately. So you were right about that. Okay, so Robbie Chosen, who's just signed today. Brendan Rice, who's this year's Puka Nacua. And finally, Mr. Irrelevant in this draft, which is actually way more relevant than the Fantasy Football Calculator draft. Max says, I'm already seeing some troll kicker that I can use. Yeah, that's funny. Mike says, my favorite part was when Walt had Emmitt Smith moment. And he said, like 60-second format, much better than 1 minute format. Yeah. Dude, I'm running on like no sleep here and just running after kids all day, dude. That's like saps your brain power. I was reading a book to my son at night, and I was the ticket's still going. I was reading the end of the book, and I was like falling asleep as I was reading. And keep in mind, my son's 2.5, and so this is a Paw Patrol book, and I was reading the last page, and like what I read wasn't on the page. I was so tired. I was like, yeah, if you guys need us, we're open for business, and like that was not on the page. And my son goes, Yelp for help, because like that's their tag, and so I was like, oh, that's on the page. That's funny. He didn't read it, obviously, but he knew it was there, and so he corrected me. Just because like I was so exhausted. So I had I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep here, so that's my excuse. Maybe Emmett was always running on 3 hours of sleep. Max says, unfortunately, it shows their first initial, so it wasn't quite as funny. Yeah, it's true. Sam says, what about the receiver at Texas, Isaiah Bond? Do you think he'd be the second best receiver? It's too early to say now. I mean, I think he's a good prospect. I don't know. Who's my second best receiver? Let me see. It's Tetiora McMillan. I have him hit at 25, and then I have Antwain Wells, second round. Nick Anderson. Oh, Nick Anderson is 29. So I have three receivers in the first round, but Avant could be there. All right, let's review the teams. Let's look at my team first. So I went CD Lamb in the first round. First time I went CD Lamb. Then Stephon Diggs, Marquise Brown, Christian Watson, Ricky Pearsall. I like my receiving core. It'll be strengthened by the Ajax trade if Pearsall gets to play. So we'll see. But he's still my fifth receiver. Pacheco, Cook, Connor, Eckler. I like that running back core for PPR or half PPR. Eckler, obviously the pass catcher there. Connor is pretty solid. And then Pacheco, Cook, I think is a decent start for a PPR format. And I got Jordan Love in the 9th round. I think that's a steal. Like I've seen him go in the 7th round. So I get to pair him with Watson and then Dallas Goedert. Great value in the 11th round for tight end. Of course, John Brown. Can't go wrong with him. All right, so let's go left to right here, looking at teams. So Scary Hours went 3 receivers to start. Went 0 running back strategy, actually. So, the receivers are Tyreek Hill, Drake London, Nico Collins. I think that, Hill looks fantastic, obviously, but London has some downside. Collins, I think, is going to regress a little bit because he was producing last year with no Stephon Diggs there, and Tank Dell was injured. So he's going to have to share some targets. But you have to love Josh Allen. And then Trey McBride has a lot of potential. But let's look at his running backs: Jalen Warren, Tony Pollard, Trey Benson, Ty Chandler, Marshawn Lloyd, and then Will Shipley, Damian Pierce. I like that at least he went running back late. Sometimes maybe I'm used to fantasy football calculator, but like sometimes you see like no running backs early and then no running backs late. Like that Team 4 guy last night who he didn't take any running back, or maybe he took one. I can't remember, but I don't like these running backs very much, but Pollard could be good, Warren could be good. Like there's some potential at least, but it's a very risky approach. I wouldn't have gone. I don't know, like what have I done differently? I think I would have, instead of Drake London, I think I would have taken a running back like Cook, Mixon, White. But then again, like I don't know, maybe if you love Drake London that much, it's fine. Cassandra went so Breece Hall first, and then Debo, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Jones. I like the start a lot. Higgins, McLaurin, Jayden Reed, all solid picks there. Then Chase Brown, he could be the running back one there, so I like that a lot. Singletary, Algier has a lot of potential. Ingram, love that value in the 11th round. I was going to take him if he was there. Wicks, I mentioned, I like the pick. Demarai Douglas, I was considering him instead of Greg Dortch. And then Brendan Rice, I like that as a late round sleeper. I like that no kickers defenses were taken too. So if you don't have to draft kicker defense, don't. Yeah, I like Cassandra's team quite a bit. Germ 222 super chat. Thank you so much, Germ. Really appreciate it. Walt really needed Chase Brown. I'm a big fan of Chase Brown. So do you get Phil Steele's college football preview magazine every year? I used to. I don't know why I don't. I don't know. I don't really have time to read magazines. I'm always like working on my site, like especially I guess since the kids are born. Like when I'm not working, I'm with the kids. So I just like I have no time. Like I said last night, I had 3 hours of sleep, which is like usually it's like 4. It's like 4 or 4.5. Like that's like what I get with the crazy work schedule and the kids. It's like one of my highlights from Vegas was being able to sleep 7 hours. It's great. Chris said, also, do you read The Advocate? Some nice artists in that too. I've never heard of The Advocate. You'll have to tell me about it. I think Lexington Steel has some content in that publication. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that. All right. Okay. All right. SB and Wayne. So team number 3 here goes Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk. So Ayuk is risky. Kelsey, he's too old. Zamir White. I don't like this team. Zamir White. I think that's way too early for him. I do like Stroud. I think Harris is fine. I think Spears is fine as well. I think these are decent picks, but like Keon Coleman too early. Javonte Williams may not make the roster. Jameson Williams, like he's always a bust. Kamani Vidal is the 6th running back on the depth chart right now, so I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, I don't. As being Wayne, I don't like this team. Go to Slew, Bijan Robinson. There's a case for him to be first overall. Devontae Adams. All these guys have downsides. I mentioned it. Like Adams is 31, but he could still be good. You also have to worry about like if he's traded to a team that can't throw. If he's traded to New England randomly or something like that, that'll really hurt him. I do love Jalen Hurts, Montgomery. In half PPR, don't like that in the fourth round. If this is your standard, I think it'd be fine. Andrew's talked about that. I think that's like the right value for him. I was thinking about Pickens in round 6, so I like that. Keenan Allen is also high on my draft board, and then Brian Thomas. I love these receivers here. So even though he went one receiver early in the first 5 rounds, you still have, I think, like 4 or at least like 3 good ones, and maybe a fourth one who's going to be good too. We'll see what happens. I would draft. I think I would draft more receivers later. Slew. That's like the one thing I'm seeing here because you didn't go receiver. You only went one receiver in the first 5 rounds, and he's 31. So yeah, you went back to back receivers. I think I would have gone more receivers here, like instead of Purdy or Keaton Mitchell or Jets defense. I think I would have gone one more receiver here, but maybe you just didn't like anyone. Or Gus Edwards. I think Gus Edwards is a wasted pick. I think he sucks. So if you want receiver here, like if you went like McConkey or Curtis Samuel, I think that would look a lot better. But I like your team otherwise. Sanders, Christian McCaffrey, Achane. Achane was really good value in the 4th round. And then receivers look good. Olave, Waddle, although Neighbors don't know. We don't know yet. And then Xavier Worthy, Shakir Liget. My criticism here is like I think like too many rookie receivers. Like you just don't know what you're going to get out of them. Like you have Neighbors, Worthy, and Liget. Like I just think that's too many rookie receivers. But Kyler Murray, that's a risk too. He's so injury prone. And like just look at the quarterbacks who went rounds 9 through even 13. Like Jordan Love, 9th round, Tua 10th, Jane Daniels 10th, Caleb Williams 10th, Dak Prescott 10th, Brock Purdy 13, Trevor Lawrence 13, Jared Goff 13. Maybe not Purdy because he could lose Brandon Ayuk, but like all these other guys, they're not that much worse than Kyler Murray. And that's considering like Murray's going to play the whole year, which he's not. He never plays the whole year. So I personally would just rather have these later round guys. And so I would have drafted someone else instead of Murray. And then, in the 10th or 11th round, instead of Liget, you could have gotten Trevor Lawrence or Jared Goff, or maybe 9th round you take Jordan Love here. That's what I would have done. I think Murray. I don't like this Murray pick. So that and the rookie receivers, but otherwise, I think it's a good team. Trump Best went heavy running back receiver early, like I did. He didn't take anything but that until the 10th round. His receivers: Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Rashee Rice. That is really strong, especially if Rashee Rice is not suspended. And the NFL does drag its feet on this, so maybe that doesn't even happen. Running backs: Jacobs, Mixon, Hubbard, Dowdle. I think that's really strong. Don't know what to make of Dowdle yet, but he's someone I have interest in, and there's a real chance he's the leader in carries. But yeah, I mean, running backs, receivers look great, and like so you have to worry about quarterback, tight end, right? But no, he took Tua and Njoku. I think those are great options. Some good sleepers late, like Yoshivas, Kendrick Miller. You could argue some sleeper. Like I think this is a really strong team. Trump Best. It's really good. Well, it's not really into the Murray pick. He's just always hurt. I just like he always disappoints. He always goes down. Like when he's healthy, it's gonna be good for him. But like you're gonna have to worry about him getting hurt every single week. It just sucks. Chris says The Advocate, the magazine is the oldest and largest LGBT publication in the U.S. and the only surviving one of its kind that was founded before the 1969 Stonewall riots. Okay. I'd never heard of that before, so that's crazy. I swear I have not heard that. Lexington Steel is the Peter North of the South. Okay. Yeah, if one of them hits some good, that's true, but it's not a guarantee that one of them hit, I just think there's so much like volatility with these rookies. Bill's passing the league at, so I know he's going to kill it. fair enough. Stanley says, why did the Democrats trying to use Project 2025 to scare people from voting Trump? Because it's a stupid thing. Like it's too esoteric. Like most people don't know what it is. one of the funny jokes I heard is like some guy was like, he heard some like old cat lady like talking about Project 2025, and so he's like, oh, it was in a store, and he's like, oh, what's that? And she's like, oh, you never heard of Project 2025? He's like, oh, look it up. And so he takes out his phone like real fast and like starts skimming it, and he goes, he's like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I wasn't going to vote for Trump, but now I'm going to vote for Trump. It's just kind of like trolled these people. So stupid. Yeah, there's our Walt Burgundy of the night. Yeah, guys, I'll read everything you post. I don't vet these ahead of time. Raylab says need to make sure Call of Duty isn't being released before you draft college as well. That's a good point. John says I read the platform and agree with like 90% of it. Yeah, and it's not affiliated with Trump either. Like the founder of the Heritage Foundation, which has created it, he called Trump a clown in 2016. Now, I don't know if he made amends with Trump, but the guy doesn't like him, or at least he didn't. So I don't know. Sue says, interesting picture you have of Trey McBride on your bus page. Yeah, I think I just think he's going too early. I think that I see what you're saying. It's the wrong McBride, isn't it? It's the receiver who used to play for like William and Mary, I think, right? Yeah, that got me. I found another picture of that, and I was able to fix it, but apparently not. Apparently not that one. A kid no name went triple running back to start. So Jahmyr Gibbs, Travis Etienne, Rashad White. I like that trio. And then he went heavy receiver, which makes sense. If you go running back like this early, like you don't really need to take more. And he only went 2 more, which I think is fine. Receivers, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Tank Dell, Deontay Johnson. I like these guys. Johnson may scare some people, but I like Dave Canales. I think he's going to have that offense flowing. And then Ladd McConkey, apparently he has great chemistry with Herbert. We'll see. Jahan Dotson, another sleeper. He went Jane Daniels, Trevor Lawrence. I usually don't like 2 quarterbacks, but Daniels has a lot of risk because he's a rookie. So going safer with Lawrence, I think that makes a lot of sense. And then gotta love this. He waited to the 14th round to get Pat Freiermuth, who he was one of the tight ends I was considering in round 11. So I like this a lot. I like the team quite a bit. Kid no name. John Tron went. So he went Jonathan Taylor, which I love, but then Nakua, who's banged up. Henry, I'm down on him. This is a big clash. So this is what you were talking about here. Henry plus Jackson plus Flowers. Mathiasen was mentioning that. This is, you can't do that. You could go Jackson Flowers, or if it's like Jackson Flowers Andrews, that's fine too. But like I said, not ideal with Jackson because he runs. Pitts is someone I'm not in love with. Swift gets hurt a lot. Hopkins is injured right now. Brooks is injured right now. Sutton's touchdown regression. Lockett's a million years old. Gibson is a backup. Mike Williams always hurt, and he's coming off torn ACL. This is not a good team. I don't like this at all. Joe Baller goes, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Saquon Barkley to start. Really strong start to this draft. Then Pittman, Kamara is fine. Like Pittman, much better in PPR. Kamara has some upside, but some downside for sure with that offensive line situation, plus his injuries. Richardson has amazing upside. So if Richardson pans out, like he could carry this team in addition to Brown and St. Brown and Barkley and Pittman. But Richardson could like nuke slates like each week. Like he's that good, but he's played one game where he lasted the whole game and he got banged up in that game. That was his rookie year, but I like Kirk. It's interesting that he went Kirk and then Ridley. I don't like Ridley as much. I feel like that could really go awry. But I like Jake Ferguson. I like that value. Elliott I wouldn't take, especially 9th round. He's not gonna be the starter there, I don't think. But Jalen Wright, I think he rebounded well with Jalen Wright and Jacoby Myers. Talk about him before. If Adams is traded, that suddenly looks great. 2 Broncos. Try not to draft too many Broncos. That team's gonna be awful. Otherwise, I think this team looks pretty good. There's a couple of things I don't like Ridley, and don't draft 2 Broncos. One's okay, but don't draft 2. Packer fan went Brown and Harris. I think Harrison was taken too early. I think Laporta was taken a little too early. I like Kenneth Walker. But then, Burrow, I think you can wait on a quarterback. Like if you're taking Burrow in the 5th round, you can just wait. Stevenson, Mostert are fine. I think Mostert is better. Stevenson, I think bad. running back on a bad team, I just not a fan. And Chubb is not going to be ready till midseason, and Addison might be suspended. Kale, why Caleb Williams here? I don't know. If maybe 12th round, but not 10th round. I think that's a waste. Dobbs, I think, is kind of a waste too. Dobbins, you never know with the Achilles, but he has upside. Schultz, I like the Schultz value, but if you drafted Laporta in the 3rd round, why are you drafting another tight end? I think that's just a waste. So, Packer fan, not a fan of this team. Dick says, I like the late QB tight ends teams a lot of depth. Yeah, I agree with that. Chris says, "Hello, QVC. My name is Walter. My credit card number is." It's funny. I have that memorized. I can spout it out to you. But I luckily I had this sort of eidetic memory. I remember really specific things. I went to my college roommate's wedding in Hershey. This is back in 2009, and I forgot my credit card. I don't know why. It just wasn't in my wallet, and so I had to book a hotel because it was all the way in Hershey. It's an hour and a half away. So I was able to just recite my credit card number to the person at the front desk, and they took it. So I didn't have to drive home or just be sober. It was a fun wedding. But it would have been a lot less fun sober. Chris says, "What was that guy saying about Jontron last night? What if he was right?" I don't know. Sam says, "Do you think the Giants tight end Theo Johnson will have a breakout year?" Probably not. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that tight end room. I'm not excited about it. He has a lot of potential, but this year probably not. Maybe next year. I just think there's a 4th round rookie to have a breakout year is pretty tough. It happened with Puka last year, was 5th rounder, but it's pretty rare for a day 3 guy to have just a breakout year suddenly. It happens, but I don't really see it, especially in that offense with the bad blocking. Germ, who was gracious enough with the 222 super chat. So thank you again, Germ. Really appreciate it. Kyron Williams to start, and then Garrett Wilson, solid start. Cooper Kupp with. We'll see what happens with Nakua. If Nakua is injured, then that's going to look great. If Nakua is healthy, Kupp is going to be the receiver 2 on that team. So I'm not crazy about him there. But if Nakua is going to be out for a while, then that's going to look a lot better. So you're just taking a risk there. I like Devontae Smith a lot. Don Kincaid I was considering in the 5th round. I think that's really good value. It's pretty good value. And I think there's a chance he has a Travis Kelce 2022 type year. Jerome Ford, I think you can get Jerome Ford a little later than this. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think his ADP. Let's look at his ADP. Jerome Ford, so he's going 116 overall, which is that's 10.08. I definitely think that you can wait on Ford. I just think that I think it's a reach. I think Zach Moss is a bit of a reach too. I think that there's a chance that he's not the starter. So, you could have gotten Ford here at 7-12, and then here you could have. So you only had one running back. Well, still you're taking running back. So you could have taken. Let's see who else. What I've taken. You could have taken one of the Pittsburgh running backs. You could have taken one of the Tennessee running backs. You could have taken Eckler or DeAndre Swift, and then you could have gotten Ford here, and then you would have had I think a better running back room. But so Jackson Smith and Jigba that's a decent pick. He has some upside. Curtis Samuel, I like. Dak Prescott 10th round. That's great value. So you want Prescott and Goff, kind of you could play matchups that way. I think it's pretty good. I love the Roschon Johnson, Joshua Palmer picks. That's pretty outstanding. Late round value or mid round value. You're getting 2 great sleepers there. Estime, I'm not crazy about Broncos, but maybe he's the starter. So I think that I think there are better sleepers to be had, but maybe you're right about Estime. I just don't have a good feel for him. Love the Henry Ruggs pick. That's great. I like your team, Jerem. It's I just think that you could draft Ford a little later. If you could have probably got him at 8-1 instead of 6-1. So that's my only criticism, but I like your team overall. Chris saying, how do you think Samson Nakua will do this year for the Saints? Um, Samson Nakua. I don't know what that means. Samson Nakua. Yeah, he's. Oh yeah, he's. Okay, yeah, he's. Is he his brother? I didn't like. I don't know anything about this guy. But we'll see. It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy if he goes off too. But he doesn't have. He's not going to have Sean McVay coaching him up. You know what I mean? So Stanley should direct these New York Giants questions to Kenny on Wednesday night. Yeah, that's true. Stanley, if you're on Wednesday, ask Kenny about the Giants. He'll have some great opinions for you. Sanchez says, if I had better awareness, I would have taken Warren at 6'11". Toka had 3 receivers, 0 running backs. I would have pretty much guaranteed any receivers on my way back. Yeah, if you're drafting at the 2nd or 11th spot, or even 3 and 10 to an extent, definitely look at the guys drafting at the turn, because you could probably get a good feel for what they're doing. So that's definitely something that you can look at. Agus says, I think he's going to be this year's Samson Nakua. That's a good one. Chris says Puka's older brother could be this year's Puka Nakua. Yeah, I kept saying Brendan Rice, but that was the right answer all along. We finally got to it in the middle of August. Dick says True Cassandra, yes. Dick says, yeah, I usually play in 2 flex formats, so I've been happy to get McLaurin. Yeah, I was only playing 1. I'm not in any league that plays 2 flexes. We actually had to like it was like pulling teeth to get this league I'm in. I'm in a league with Kenny, and this league actually has Kenny, Jacob, and Body Burner, who's been on the show. I've been in this league since 2003, and the commissioner is a super nice guy, but he's so, like he just like it was like so long to get a flex, I think, because it was always 2 running backs, 3 receivers. And it was like everyone, like it felt like half the league was always like, we need a flex, and like no one wanted to change. We finally got the flex. So I don't foresee us getting a second flex, because it took like 20 years to get a flex. But I think that was a good move. It's still 3 receivers though, so it's 2 running backs, 3 receivers, and a flex. So receivers carry way more premium in that league. That says I don't have a 2 flex league, but I do prefer 3 receiver leagues. I do too. You just have to be aware for it. Like if you go into this league like drafting normally, like you're gonna get killed on the open market with the receivers, like on the waiver wire. I mean, like there's gonna be no one available, so you have to really upgrade the receivers on your cheat sheet and just make sure you have good ones. Because if you don't, like you're just gonna get killed that way. Stan says, "Hey, what's your take on Team USA almost losing to Serbia in the Olympics?" Yeah, it looks like Serbia was going to win for a while. I didn't watch the game. I just watched the score. I don't really care about USA basketball because I love the Dream Team, but this team I just don't care about. So yeah, I mean, I think this team is weak compared to other US teams. So if they lose in the championship, it wouldn't surprise me. But they could win as well. I think it's almost a toss up. But I don't know that much about USA basketball. Chris says, what about the shady commission that made you pick a kicker and backup quarterback? I think that's a good approach. Let the league know who's in charge. Yeah. My friend Drew, who's he lived across the street from my parents, so I've known him ever since I was a kid. He's like he's like the type of guy who like he feels like he's getting screwed no matter what, and so he needs to change the rules so he doesn't get screwed. So he'd be like, I would never draft a kicker. And I said it on the show, and he used to watch the show when he did fantasy. He doesn't do fantasy anymore. So I don't know if he still watches, but he announced one draft. He's like, hey, Walt's been getting away with not drafting kickers. I'm saying it like he talks. We're gonna draft kickers now. It's like make sure. So I had to draft kickers. So in response to that, I drafted a troll kicker. I drafted him actually. Like his name's Drew something. I was like, yeah, I'll take Drew something kicker. It's like drafted him as a kicker. It's just that was me lashing back. But and then another thing that he did, he wanted to try keepers one year, and we had like 2 keepers or something, and I kept like. It was insane. I kept like Patrick Mahomes in like the 10th round and Alvin Kamara in like the 15th round. This is like when they're both rookies. And so my team the next year was unstoppable because I had Mahomes, Kamara, and the rest of my picks. And and so like the next year he's like, well, I was looking at Wolf's team. I don't think we should have keepers anymore. So I just kind of like ruined the keeper system. I'm like, true. Like I just drafted well. Like other people could draft well too, you know. So yeah, that team, that was the other great team I had. I mentioned Brady to Gronk. That team with Kamara and Mahomes and my regular draft picks, like it was insane. I only lost once all year. And some guy who wasn't in the league, he looked at my roster. I remember showing it to him. He's like, "How is this a real team?" It's just like he's like, "How do you get Mahomes, Kamara, and like these other guys?" Like it was insane. It's just like an all-star team basically. John says Allen and Williams starting this Saturday, the Bills-Bears game. For those who want someone better than DeVito versus Seinfeld, yeah, there may be some good matchups. I think Jaden Daniels is playing. I think Cale Williams is playing. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, we're gonna have yeah. You just said Williams, but who was I thinking of? Thinking of someone else. Oh, Mahomes. I was thinking about Mahomes. Mahomes is playing. Yeah, there are gonna be some good starters playing on Saturday. So the two games tonight were pretty bad. It says yeah, the two flex makes the draft pretty random. Some guys like starting 4 running backs, others start 4 receivers, can switch it up week to week, and even start a tight end if you luck up into a stud. We're gonna start running receivers, running backs. Yeah, I usually don't recommend drafting double tight end. Like some people will do that. Like they'll draft 2 tight ends early, and they'll be like, "Oh, I can draft 2 tight ends." It's like, nah, well, you shouldn't do that. But yeah, sometimes sometimes it works out in your favor for sure. Dick says, I'm not. I don't know if I can. I can't read this comment for some reason. Yeah, I don't know if am I online. Still, Dick says I was rolling out Laporta McBride certain weeks last year. Yeah, so yeah, this is pretty good. I mean that's amazing. But yeah, you didn't go into the draft being like, oh, I'm drafting these guys to start. But yeah, you could definitely play yourself into that. Chris says, are you excited WNBA will be back in action next week? Yes. No. Well, if Tom gives me some good picks against the spread, then I will be excited. That's the only reason I would ever be excited about the WNBA. I guess DFS as well. Like, you know, I subscribe to some content, and sometimes they give out good DFS plays, but no. The NFL is starting soon, and we're gonna get the golf didn't happen today because it got rained out. So we have the golf tournament's gonna be Friday to Monday this week. Which, by the way, if you did DFS for the PGA, make sure that all of your players haven't withdrawn because some guys who are pretty high up in the FedEx Cup standings may not need to play this tournament. Like I'm thinking like Sungjae Im or Brian Harmon, for example. I have Brian Harmon in my DFS lineup, so I have to check that. So make sure you don't have any withdrawals because this 1 day delay could force some people to drop out. So definitely keep that in mind. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Thank you, especially to Germ for the 222 super chat. I really appreciate it, Germ. You, John Sanders, and Sue, you guys have been so gracious with your support. Just really appreciate it. And you guys like really keep the show going. So thank you so much. Dick says Jane Daniels starts Sunday. Can't wait to see him in action. Yeah, me too. That's gonna be great. Chris says, "Oh, on rained out. I still see that it's still a hot button issue here. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts, Chris. It's it's still a sore subject. Yeah, I talked about Rainmakers with Greg Dortch tonight, and I was at a Jalen Hyatt Rainmaker, so I saw him catch a pass tonight. So I was pretty upset. The Blake Corum legendary, I had Jane Daniels legendary, so that would have been great. So yeah, it's still a sore subject. Anyway, so this is a great draft. I really enjoyed this. I think we're going to do this on Sleeper going forward. So yeah, thanks guys for introducing me to this. And once again, thank you for watching. We're going to be back on Monday. So no show on Saturday because there are 10 games. So I just don't see how we can possibly get on. So yeah, we're going to be back on Monday. Going to do more mock drafts all throughout August. So looking forward to that. Going to have some new guests on throughout the week. Kenny, I assume will be on Wednesday, but new guests on Monday, Tuesday, and maybe Thursday. So look her up for that. And please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description of the merch store. All right, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday.